One of my friends works in a bank. I guess you could call him a banker. Anyway, I was looking for new ideas for content, and I thought, oh, well, why don't you try reviewing something? And that seemed like a good idea, but reviews can get real negative real quick, and there's enough negativity out there already. So I wanted to review the most benign thing I could think of: country music. See, my banker buddy really likes country music, and we used to give him stick for it all the time. He actually apparently has a lot of free time to watch YouTube at work. So I thought I'd ask him, hey, what song could I review that would be most entertaining for you to watch? And he chose this: Take Your Time by Sam Hunt. Just a disclaimer before I start reviewing: I don't know who Sam Hunt is. I haven't read his Wikipedia page. I haven't done any research on him. I want this to be free of as much bias as possible, but I will let you know I'm already going in with a bias of disliking country music. I've never really liked it or the way it sounds, but I respect that there are good artists doing good things in it. It's just not my thing. I also want to make it clear right away that when I say he or him or they or whatever, I'm not referring to Sam Hunt. I'm referring to the character in the song, if you will. Who the song's about, it's not Sam Hunt to me, it's some random person and they're fictional. So when I talk about him, it's that. It's a fictional character. This is also going to be mostly a lyrical analysis. I don't know much about music theory, but I do know how words work, so I'm going to roll with that. All right, before we get started, I'm going to wait 5 seconds for you to pause this video and listen to the song. Okay, starting with the musicality. It sounds good. It's got quick, toned down verses that build into a dramatic chorus. I just want to take your time. He's also got this southern twang, kind of vague talk rapping thing that he does. I'm not a big fan of it. I find it a little off putting, but I think it works well in this stumbling over words in a bar, trying to talk to pretty girl kind of vibe that the song is supposed to put out. And that's what the song is about, by the way. It's about talking to a pretty girl in a bar. And this kind of creates a dissonance, in my opinion, between the real drama and emotion in the music versus the very, very simple, kind of uninspiring lyrics that it puts out. It kind of leaves me with a weird taste in my mouth as well. Tastes like spit. Well, what do I mean? Well, I'm just going to dive into it. So, what actually happens in the song? And I mean, physically, literally happens in the song. 1, girl smiles at guy. Probably. 2, guy walks by and says hi. 3, it's implied that they talk. And that's it. That's the story. And I put it like this just to show how nothing really happens to warrant the dramatic music. He writes some of these important lines in the subjunctive, and I'm not a big fan of the subjunctive, especially when it comes to meaning or driving home something, because it's generally weaker when explaining or clarifying meaning. Let me give you an example. If I say, I could run a mile, it almost feels like there should be a but at the end of that sentence, and then I'll give you some excuse as to why I'm not, or something like that. But if I say, I can run a mile, that's the end of the sentence. It's more powerful. You know, I can run a mile. I don't know if I can run a mile, by the way. There's uncertainty in could, and there's a lot more certainty in saying can. That's just an example. We see it right at the beginning, and I'm not actually mad at this one because people say this kind of thing all the time, but still, I couldn't just walk by and not say hi. Yes, you could. It's very easy. You close your mouth and walk by. Stop being so dramatic. But to be honest, that was more of a joke. I don't really have that much of an issue with that part. It's fine. Later, though, there's a stanza that's a bit off. You could have rolled your eyes, told me to go to hell, could have walked away, but you're still here, and I'm still here. Come on, let's see where it goes. So, breaking it down, you could have rolled your eyes. Yes, she could have. Told me to go to hell. Indeed, she could have done that. Could have walked away. Yes, 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 yes. She could have done a lot of things. She could have busted out into the Macarena. If she did, this would have been a very different song. The problem is he never tells what she actually does do. We don't know if she laughs a lot, if she flirts with him, if she smiles at him again. It's just implied that she talks to him, which means all of the romantic affirmation driving this drama is more of a polite courtesy than it is anything else. It seems like his logic is wow, she wasn't immediately rude to me. She didn't immediately tell me to piss off. This could be something. This could be something. Let's see where it goes. We don't know if this is true or not, but it just seems like he has a negative opinion of her. Like he goes to talk to her, but his first feeling is that she's just going to be rude to him. What? Does he assume that she's just going to be like, "No, not attractive enough"? I don't know why she's British now in the South, but just roll with it. No, no, no. Definitely not. She's probably a genuinely nice person, like most people are, and he's taking it as some kind of romance, I guess. It feels kind of sad if I think about it too hard. Moving on, let's talk about arguably the most important part of the song, the chorus. In my opinion, it's a relatively odd build up to an underwhelming payoff. I don't want to steal your freedom. Okay, I mean, there's a real fear about losing your freedom when you get in a relationship or get involved with somebody, but it's a bit severe to be thinking about that the first time you talk to a person in a bar. I don't want to change your mind. What are we trying to change her mind about? Her not looking for anything? Her not looking for someone to be with? Because you are trying to change her mind. That's why you're talking to her so that she changes her mind and she talks to you. Maybe it goes into something else. I don't have to make you love me. Again, that's a bit severe. Nobody talks to somebody at a bar with a thought in their mind, I have to make you love me. You have to love me. That's not really a thing. So it's odd to say that you're not looking for that when I don't think most people are looking for that. But finally, we reach the payoff. And the payoff is, of course, also in the title of the song. I just want to take your time. This is the only part of the song where I literally just have a problem with word choice. Take your time is an odd phrase. It's an odd phrase to use for this kind of dramatic, romantic kind of situation. Take your time is what you use when you want to talk to a colleague about a meeting that's coming up. When you're trying to sell someone a timeshare, you take their time. May I have a moment of your time to invest in this definitely not pyramid scheme? It's just not this kind of phrase. It's just not used in this kind of way. So it just sounds kind of odd when it's delivered with such emotion and such drama. It just the words don't sound right. But I'm not blind, or I guess deaf in this case. I know what he's trying to do. You build up something by saying all the negatives around it. I don't want, I don't want, I don't. I do, I do. And that really is a huge payoff for the I do part. So he says, I don't want, I don't have to, I don't want, I just want to take your time. He's saying he doesn't need, doesn't want all these drastic, big committal things. He just wants to be with you, to talk to you. Both of those would have worked better than take your time, by the way. But rather than making this a huge satisfying payoff of all the don'ts and don'ts and don'ts, it just kind of falls flat, in my opinion. Okay, one last negative thing, and then I promise we'll end with some positivity. The character throughout the song has this air of, I'm not like other guys. You remember the meme? It started with girls. I'm not like other girls, but you can apply it to men just as well. They do it all the time too. And he does this by saying things like, don't get me wrong. Other guys, well, they want to pick you up, they want to get you drunk, but not me, not me. I just want to take your time. I'm different. It's like he's throwing all these other guys who, like, he doesn't know and he doesn't have anything to do with them. He's throwing them all under the bus to make himself look better for this girl or to help his confidence. I'm not sure, but it's just a bit mean spirited and narcissistic. So, in the end, the story is about a guy walking into a bar, seeing a pretty girl. She smiles at him and he walks up and talks to her, and he makes a huge deal of it in his brain, and it just doesn't seem natural. It seems kind of odd. It's like he's making something out of nothing, and he doesn't really talk about her at all. So by the end of the song, we don't really know anything about her. I keep saying that she's pretty or hot, but that's not said anywhere in the song. I just assumed that. We know that her eyes are intimidating and that she's popular. Everybody knows her. So it's very, very one sided in this, and that's fine. But if it's supposed to be romantic, it's kind of awkward. Okay, okay, okay. On the positive side, I promised you I'd end with the positive. The song sounds great. Sam Hunt has a great voice, and it's really fun to listen to. I mean, it's dramatic. You feel the emotion in you, so it's good for that. My biggest issue was with the dissonance between the content of the lyrics and the drama of the song, or the perceived drama I felt when listening to the song. And by the way, coming to the end of this analysis, I realized that my analysis was more of like a refutation. So I came into this, and after listening to it, again in a bubble, I don't know anything about Sam Hunt, but I assumed this was written to be a romantic song. Like you're supposed to get an air of romance about it, about this guy and this girl in the bar, or I guess it could be a party, whatever. And my lyrical analysis was to say, like, hey, actually, it's not that romantic. It's kind of weird and maybe a little bit creepy, or just at the very least overblown in the guy's head. However, now that I think about it, there's another really good reading you could do if you empathize with the guy more and you try and get in his headspace. Maybe he's really insecure, he's really nervous, and when he says you, as he does many times in the song, he's actually more talking to himself through the girl. So all these don't statements he's saying are actually reassurances to himself. Like, it's not a big deal. You don't have to worry too much. You can just talk to this girl and it's fine. I don't know if one of y'all wants to make that video or write that analysis down in the comments. I'd love to read it. Also, I'd love to hear everyone's analysis, everyone's own analysis of this song. Remember, these are just my opinions. I just looked at the lyrics, listened to the song, and then wrote down some things on a piece of paper. Everyone's is valid, and if you disagree with everything I've said, no worries. I still love you. Aww. So please write your thoughts about me, about the song, about the video, about Diglett in the comment section below. Leave a like, subscribe if you feel nice, and I'll see you in the next one. Hope you enjoyed, you banker, you banker.